Have you guys ever heard that saying that we only use 10% of our brains? Well, newsflash, that's a myth. But we can still improve our brain power, and I'm going to go over how to do that. So really, there's 7 things here that's going to help improve your brain power, and I'm going to go over all of them. So the first one is mental stimulation. So our brains are kind of like muscles. The more we exercise and work them out, the stronger they're going to get. But instead of just lifting dumbbells and making your biceps bigger, the way you're going to make your brain stronger is by regularly challenging your mind. So one way to do this is start taking different courses and learning new subjects that you're interested in. For example, you can start learning a new language or even learning a new instrument. Or you can play different games on your phone, like you can solve different puzzles, or you can start playing strategy games like chess. I just got into chess. I still suck at it, but I think it's really fun. Our brains have this neuroplasticity, so they can adapt to different changing environments depending on what stimulus they're putting. So if we're just sitting in front of a TV all day, we're not going to have as much brain function as opposed to someone who's constantly challenging their mind. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is you want to have the right fuel. So you want to get specific brain-boosting foods that you can add to your diet. So one food you can add is fatty fish, like salmon. So salmon have a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, which are very good for you, and they're very good for your brain particularly. You can also add blueberries, which are loaded with antioxidants, and they've been shown to improve brain function and even limit our cognitive decline. You can also add different nuts like walnuts, cashews, and almonds. All of them are loaded with antioxidants. They have a lot of healthy fats in them, and they also have vitamin E. All of these things are going to help improve your brain as well. Another big thing to add to your diet is leafy greens. So things like spinach, kale, and other leafy greens. All of these things are going to be loaded with different nutrients, vitamin K, and other minerals that are going to help your brain as well. Now, the last food I want to talk about might surprise you a little bit. It's dark chocolate. So I think dark chocolate is going to be a great snack, especially if it's going to replace some other unhealthy food. Dark chocolate has a ton of cacao, and this is going to be loaded with different antioxidants again, and these are really good for your ability to focus and for your memory. Now, the third thing on my list is exercise. So we all know exercise is good for the body, but it also stimulates the release of different growth factors. Now, these growth factors can also help your brain because they can help support the growth of new neurons and help build new connections in your brain. Now, the fourth thing on my list is stress management. So one thing we know is that chronic stress is going to hurt your brain function. I mean, just think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where you're really stressed out? It's really hard to think straight, and you usually do not make the right decisions. So what are some ways to lower stress? Well, a big one is going to be breathing exercises. So a simple breathing exercise that can lower your stress is by slowing down your breathing. So the way you're going to do this is by only using your nose to breathe. And then you're going to inhale for about 4 seconds and exhale for about 6 seconds. If you practice breathing this way, it's going to put you more in a parasympathetic mode. So your parasympathetic mode is your body's rest and relax response. A lot of us are constantly in this fight and flight response, and a lot of it has to do with our breathing. If we're always breathing through our mouth and taking these quicker, shallower breaths, then our body's going to be more and more in this chronic stress mode. So it's really important to try to slow down your breathing and practice this nasal breathing. It's kind of like a meditation or even yoga. You know, both of these are really centered around your breathing. And the reason they focus so much on that is because they know that it works. Now, other ways you can manage stress is just changing the way you react to certain situations. You know, stress was meant to be very short-lived. Back when we were cavemen and we were just fighting for our lives every day, stress was a response to some sort of danger. And it's supposed to be really quick to either fight and end that situation or flight and run away and get out of that situation. But nowadays, people are stressed for so many different things that do not endanger our life. For example, nowadays, people are stressed just being late to work or being stuck in traffic. Both of these are not endangering your life, but they're still going to have the same response in your body. And this is going to lead to chronic stress and not only affect the way that your brain works, affect the rest of your body as well. Other ways to lower your stress is by just going on walks outside, you know, getting some vitamin D, which is also good for your brain, and just getting away from your phones and other screens, which can also lead to stress. Now, the fifth thing I want to talk about to improve your brain function is to get some social interactions. So studies show that when you engage in these social interactions, it will lower the amount that your brain declines with age, but also promote brain health in general. Because what these social interactions are doing is it's just another way to engage your brain and keep your mind active. So make sure you make time for different social interactions, whether it's with your family and friends, or joining different clubs or different volunteer organizations, whatever it is. So number 6 on my list is to get organized. So it's really important to organize your environment, whether it's the physical environment around you or even on your computer, like organizing different files. This will really help limit distractions and really help you focus on what you're trying to do. You can also make to-do lists because this will help prioritize what you're supposed to do. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down to do something and I've gotten either distracted because I wasn't organized, or I didn't have a list and I couldn't even decide what to do next. Now the last one I want to talk about, and this may be the most important one, is your sleep. So your sleep is very important. It helps your brain recharge and it helps process new information and helps you form new memories. So you have to make sleep a priority. You have to make sure that you turn off your phone or close your laptop, whatever you're doing, and make sure you get those 8 hours of sleep at night. But you also want to make sure that it's consistent because this is what's going to control your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is basically your body's internal clock, and it's controlled by this one hormone called melatonin. Now, melatonin is released throughout the day, and at nighttime when it builds up the most, that's what makes you really sleepy and helps you go to sleep. But if your sleep cycle is very irregular, like you're sleeping at 6 p.m. one day and then midnight the next day, then your circadian rhythm is not going to be regulated and it's going to be really hard for you to get quality sleep. Also, this melatonin is going to be released more when it's dark. So when you're sleeping, you want to make sure it's very dark. You don't want to have any light around you. Now, another way to improve your sleep is to try to enforce this nasal breathing as you're sleeping. So some ways you can do this is a nasal dilator strip, which is literally a piece of tape that goes over your nose and helps dilate your nasal passages a little bit. And also a mouth tape, which is basically like a strip of tape that goes over your mouth and prevents you from breathing through your mouth all night. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked that video. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel below. I will see you in the next video.